season was an absolute failure. Are we perhaps just not, and we're still doing this, by the way, giving the Pacers credit for being a much, much better team than we actually keep saying they are?
I think we are a little bit, but I think we just have the utmost respect and we view the Thunder as a different tier of a team than them. And
Hmm.
that's not taking anything away from the Thunder. I don't make the odds. I didn't make them 9.5 point favorites like that. That is just how the world is viewing this series. So everyone's doing it. I don't think it's disrespecting the Pacers. I think they've had a hell of a run. I think they're a great team. They're extremely well coached. Rick Carlisle is an unbelievable coach. He's done this before in Dallas. Like I said, in 2011, he knocked off the big three with a way less talented team and that Dallas team. So he's been there before. He's a great coach. They are deep. Their bench has been fantastic. And again, they kind of have the same kind of feel as the Thunder, where it's a pecking order, and it's Siakam and Halliburton, but everyone else just falls in line. They have great guys that can defend. They have shooting. They have scoring. So they do have a little bit. It's just the East was so top heavy with Towns going to the Knicks, with the Thunder, with the Celtics being so talented and it's the best starting five in the NBA, with Cleveland having such a hot start. There were just teams that we just naturally put ahead of them throughout the whole season that it is a bit of a surprise that they made it to the finals. And now they're going up against this monster of a team, OKC, where it just feels like it's their time. It feels like they're getting over the hump. They have the best player in the series in SGA. So I don't think it's taking anything away from the Pacers. They've had a hell of a run, and regardless, this season has been an unbelievable success for them. I just think they're running into a team that is just a much better team.
It's kind of crazy. I just can't do it anymore. I can't underestimate them. I'm just going in clean. We're going to see what happens. Rick Carlisle, as a matter of fact, probably also very underrated and at the very least not talked about enough. When we talk about great coaches in the league and what he's trying to do now with this series is become just the fourth head coach to win 2 titles with 2 different franchises to win titles. And if he does pull that off somehow, Lou, can we train our brains to start adding him to some of these conversations we've always been having?
We have to. We have to. We got to start adding to that list. Along with the Fields of the world, the Spos, the Pops. We can even go old school with the OGs, the Don Nelsons and the Red Auerbachs. What Rick Carlisle has been able to do in this postseason alone is worthy of being in that conversation. The in-game adjustments that he's made with the roster, with things that he did in New York. I'm seeing clips where he realized Jalen Brunson was hedging out a little too far. He draws up a play on an opening tip for Naismith to slip out and get a layup to start the game. That's a coach that's aware of what's going on and aware of what his team is capable of and then being able to adjust. So what he's been able to do in this postseason and for him to still be quiet and him not being the focal point of the success that the Indiana Pacers have, that alone puts him in that conversation. So if they can pull off this upset, everybody, we're talking about OKC getting statues. If these guys can pull it off in Indiana, you got to load up 2 or 3 more statues to go down in downtown Indianapolis as well. So, with that said, Carlisle is on pace to be one of those type of coaches. He's already in the conversations of one of the most winningest coaches in NBA history. But if he can pull this off with a second franchise, you got to start putting him in that list with the greats.
Yeah, I agree. And like I said, he's done this before of a team that was unexpected that made that, legendary run with Dirk obviously leading them. And I play for Carlisle. He's an awesome dude, quirky personality, but he's one of the best offensive minds I've ever been around, whether that's out of a timeout, a quick hitter, whether a play to attack a weak link on a defense. He exposes you defensively. So that's the problem here. There's not many weaknesses on the defensive end with the Oklahoma City Thunder. But if they find something that works, he is just a sergeant. He's going to continue to run it until they stop it. And then once they do stop it, he's going to find another counter and another counter and another counter. And he's going to continue to, impose their will on the offensive end and make the defense work, right? He always teaches extra pass. He always teaches best possible shot. If I have a good shot and Neesmith has a great shot, kick the ball to him. So it's all unselfish ball movement, body movement, constant motion. And then when you have a guy like Tyrese Halliburton, he's a Rick Carlisle's dream that can kind of take care of the ball first and foremost, especially against a high pressure defense like the Thunder. You got a guy like Siakam that you can slow it down and go on the mid post, which is going to be interesting. Do they put Chet on Siakam, make a bigger guy guard him where you can take him off the dribble? Do they put like a Jalen Williams on Siakam where you can kind of use his size to an advantage? It's going to be interesting to see who matches up with Siakam. But no matter who does, Carlisle will have an option to get him going. He'll have an option to get Turner in pick and rolls where he's going to have a bunch of open looks from three. So he's a brilliant offensive mind, and if he happens to pull this off, you have to put him in that top tier with the guys that Lou mentioned.
Let me ask you a question, Chandler. Is it true that he used to tape his ankles as well on game days?
Dude, this guy, first of all, he lifts with the team and he wears these sweatpants and tucks his shirt in and puts his pants all the way up to damn near his chest and is just grunting in the weight room, throwing dumbbells around. He's hilarious, dude. I'll have a bad game and he'll call me in his office next day and I'm thinking I'm watching film and he'll just be like, so, like, where'd you go last night? Did you do anything cool? Like, did you meet, like, and he'll just completely take your mind off the game and he'll just, like, he's so interesting personality wise. But yeah, I've never seen him tape his ankles, but he's always in there, dude, with the Normatec pumps on his legs, working out, grunting all over the weight room. He's hilarious, dude.
It's the grunting for me, Lou. The grunting is the visual.
Yeah, right. I can see it in my mind, like kind of like Jim Carrey-ish, like Jim.
100.
He give me Jim Carrey aura. That's the vibe.
Some living color sketch with the grunting and the sweats.
1000%.
Oh, I love that. God, get some tape of that, please. Look, I don't have to remind you guys how long it's been since we've seen basketball, but just to put some numbers on it, Pacers played Saturday night, and the Thunder have not played a basketball game since last Wednesday. Now, we know when they came out against Denver after having a bit of time off, they did lose game one. They are young, though, Chandler. What are we expecting tonight? Who's going to be rustier?
I think both teams are going to be eager, right? And I think you can expect a slow start, maybe some rust, some high nerves from honestly both teams. They haven't been here before. It's new for them. It's the biggest stage. OKC, obviously, we're talking about their youth, but maybe some nerves early. But these guys are so talented. They are so cold-blooded, both of them. I think maybe besides a slow start, they'll figure it out and get over the nerves. And then I think it's going to be a highly competitive game. I think both offenses are going to be great. I think it's going to try and play fast. Indiana's got to try and play fast as they've had all year long to try and make the Oklahoma City defense work. And again, half the battle is with OKC is not turning the ball over. And they have the point guard that turns the ball over the least in the whole NBA. So that is an advantage for the Pacers. If Halliburton can continue to play at the level he's playing, it kind of takes OKC out of transition offense, getting easy buckets and doing what they do best. So maybe a little nerves early. I think that's natural. Any team in the finals, let alone these two young teams. But I think these teams are so good, so talented. They've already been through so much adversity. I expect a great game.
I agree with Chandler, man. I think they're going to get out to a slow start. I think both teams are going to be excited. This is their first finals appearance. I think this is where Siakam comes into play for Indiana. He's the guy. He should be the voice of reason in the locker room to kind of give guys a heads up of what's to be expected. At the end of the day, it's still basketball, but it's human nature to be excited and ready to go and have your first finals appearance. And so I feel like all of these guys are going to have nerves. It's going to be a little shaky. After that, we're going to have a great basketball game. We're going to have a great series. It's nothing to overthink for me. I don't think the week layoff is going to hurt anybody. If anything, I think it helps rejuvenate your legs. I'm sure they've had some spirited practices getting ready for this moment. A lot of non-contact, but still getting up and down, getting some good sweats in. I think both teams will be ready to go.
I think we're all going to be rusty. Like, what snacks are we going to eat first? I mean, it's been a lot of days off without basketball, and I
got mine set all the way up, Beadle.
You already know?
I expect to get back to Atlanta about 6:30 tonight. I've requested a taco bar with a little nacho cheese dip. I'm ready to go. I have a date on my couch, and I'm excited for this game to start.
Oh, I thought, okay. I was like, whoa, and a date. This is a big night for Lou.
I mean, it kind of, it happens.
Who are you?
What are their names?
Hey, day by day, Beadle, I don't know at this point. I don't know who I am anymore. I wear a lot of different hats.
Lou, when you get back to LA, we're going app swiping. It's going to be fun. All right, let's look at some of the matchups. And by the way, Lou, reminder, Chet did not play in the two games that OKC did play against Indiana, which, by the way, were both wins for OKC. So that could be something to look at just as an unknown anyways, but give me a matchup you're eager to see.
Man, you pick. We can start at the coaches. We got a veteran coach versus a young guy. We got SGA and Holly. We got Siakam. We got Jalen Williams. We could even go to the bench and say who's going to give us the most energy, who's going to be impactful off the bench. We could say TJ McConnell. We could say Caruso. This matchup has everything that fans could ever wish for. I've been saying it all week. Do not sleep on this matchup with the Indiana Pacers and OKC. It's matchups. It's made for TV. So wherever you pick, it doesn't even matter to me. It doesn't matter.
What's interesting is Siakam only averaged 16.5 points a game against the Thunder this year without Chet. So he struggled a bit offensively. It's hard not to look at the Halliburton SGA matchup, just two elite point guards, but they're not going to spend that much time on each other, guarding each other. I think SGA is going to be guarded by Neesmith from a majority of the game. Nembhard knows him from Team Canada this summer, so he's familiar with his game, so you'll probably see Nembhard on him a bunch. And then on the other side, guarding Halliburton, the Thunder have 6 guys that can guard him, but Lou Dort, primarily, I think, will start on him and be physical with him. And again, can he take care of the ball with this pressure that he hasn't seen often this season? So that's the main matchup to me. They obviously won't be guarding each other a lot just because their teams have such good defensive presence elsewhere. But like Lou said, whose bench is going to be better? Can McConnell match Caruso's production? Can Chet impose his will and his size and his length on a smaller Siakam on the offensive glass? And can he make shots? You know what I mean? So the centers, Hartenstein, Miles Turner, they're going to go back and forth with different styles, with Miles Turner stretching the floor and Hartenstein in the pocket with his little floater he does. So something has to give, and it's going to be really fascinating to watch.
I got another matchup for you. Let's talk about the fan bases.
I like this.
Who's going to have the better home games, OKC or Indiana?
Yes.
Who's going to have the better?
And you know what? The Pacers have been great on the road all postseason long, but this is a different animal. I think OKC is probably the best home court advantage right now. Again, that's the hottest ticket in town. They rallied. They waited up till 3:30 in the morning when they got back, and the runway at the airport was.
Trae Young said it.
I wouldn't be surprised if they're at a pep rally right now.
They're like
everyone's off work, no school.
Right now.
Yeah. It's a whole thing. Trae Young said that OKC crowd much louder than the Garden. Like it was he's half trolling, but also maybe not. I think there's probably.
He's also from there. So
well, there's levels to Trae Young in New York. So I love everything when he says anything negative about nobody. We know this. No chance for the Pacers, but we're also still really excited about the matchup, which tells me there's at least a little bit of a chance. So I'm going to give you a blank here. Pacers win the finals if what happens, Lou?
If they can limit turnovers, and if they can limit turnovers and get stops and play the basketball games that they are allowed to play, and they're trying to score under 6 seconds and play at a fast pace, and they can get production from 4 or 5 guys, you can't beat OKC with just 1 or 2 guys. Everybody has to be on board. If they can get a team that is collective and on the same page, and you get what's expected out of every single person that goes on the floor, if Carlisle can make adjustments as the series goes on and can find success and can find some holes and things that OKC like to do well, that gives them an opportunity.
That's a lot of ifs.
That's a lot of ifs now. That's why the odds are odds, Chandler, because it's a lot of ifs.
Yeah, it's tough again, and they have a chance, right? Like they're here, they belong here, they deserve to be here. They have to be pretty perfect, though. They, like Lou said, they have to not turn the ball over, and they have to shoot 50% from 3. Like they're going to have to make shots. They're going to have to get to the free throw line, and they have to limit their turnovers. So I think those are the 3 key things that if they do, and they are capable of doing that. They are an unbelievable offensive team going against an unbelievable defensive team. So it'll be interesting to see. Obviously, we don't care about defense anymore. No one really talks about defense, but now we finally have the best defensive team in the finals again, and we'll see if that kind of wins the battle.
Guys, we're going to take a quick break. On the other side, start, bench, cut.
Oh, Lord.
Start thinking.
Run it up, run it back, yeah.